Hey church, this morning we're going to take a few minutes and we're going to talk to Dave and Linda Thomas. If you don't know, they've been around Washington Heights for a little while, 58 years they've been involved as members here. So we just wanted to take a few minutes and talk to you guys because you're leaving us and going to Alabama. But we wanted to take some time and just hear a little bit about how Washington Heights has impacted you and how God's faithfulness has been seen in your lives. So whatever you want to share.
So in 1962, we'd been back 2 years already, and we did not have a church home. So in desperation almost, we went to this little church downtown in a big old building that was scheduled to be demolished for urban renewal. Well, the first Sunday, people just opened their hearts to us, and we felt almost immediately like this was it. And we felt so comfortable, we went to prayer meeting. Now, right about that time, the building was closed to groups, and so we were all over the city in churches, bank buildings, and private homes.
Wow.
So we went to prayer meeting one night in this house in Oakwood, and our maybe 3-month-old baby cried and cried and cried, and the older women there loved on her and so forth.
Sure.
And but I was very embarrassed, and I went home and said, I can't go back there again. I'm not going back and take Ruthie there. But by the next Wednesday, I was so hungry for the fellowship and the teaching, and so we went back, and we went back, and we went back, and every week I'd say, I can't do this. Well, long story short, shortly after that, we were at Washington Heights after a few years. And we just continued to feel like this was God's place for us.
In 1968, we had already been here quite a while. Pastor Larry Fetzer came to take over the ministry. It was before that I worked under Pastor McCarthy as a superintendent for Vacation Bible School. I grew under Pastor's teaching, not realizing that I was unsaved. But the messages spoke to me. In 1971, about 3 years later, was a rather critical year in my life. Number one, I was 33, my dad was 57, and he passed away at a young age for him and early into our marriage. The other thing that happened in that year, I was constantly being pestered by Dayton Christian to teach there. Bud Schindler was working on me and asking me to teach, and I fought it all the time. I talked a lot to Pastor Fetzer, and because of his teaching and his preaching and his counseling, I came to realize I'd never see my dad again, because I knew he was going to heaven, but I didn't know that I was. And so about 6 months later, after he passed away, I gave my heart to the Lord, and things changed in my life. I realized when I made my confession of salvation, I had already served as a trustee several terms. I had served as a deacon, all while being unsaved. So I probably shocked a lot of church members and friends that I was not a believer. I was rebaptized in that 6 months, after that 6 months was up, and began really to grow under the preaching of Pastor Fetzer. I know God forgave me, and in him, from that time on, this church has been a real blessing to me. And God has helped us in many instances, as far as spiritual things, as far as physical things, from that time forward. In all of that, we've served under Pastor McCarthy, Pastor Fetzer, Pastor Gillette, and now David Kistner, besides the interim pastors. And we just thank the Lord we've been able to serve here. It's going to be hard to leave, but we feel it's the best choice for us to live near our children as we get older. And we dearly love this place, and now it's going to be a tough time to find a new church. That's about it.
So you guys have been involved in a lot of ways, from working in the office and children's ministries, and we're all going to miss having those donuts disappear from our Sunday school classes when you pick up the attendance.
I know.
But you are definitely part of the history and heritage of Washington Heights, and we thank you for your service over these years, and we'll miss you. And we look forward to the day that we can gather again and do this a little bit more appropriately after this virus is over. We want to say goodbye in a better way than this, but this will do for now. So thank you guys so much.
You're more than welcome.